Narsim Gupta.
Respected President,
After.
Acharya ji, Suprada ji, leaders on and off the dais, delegates, observers, my dear friends. I am very glad to stand before you to say a few words representing Federal Bank Retired Officers Forum. We have heard our leaders highlighting the groundwork they have taken to resolve the pending issues of retirees. After meeting the Finance Minister and IBA meeting, we were all under the impression that we are nearing to our goal. But after hearing our General Secretary's speech, we some sort of apprehension come to our mind. We know UFB has already called for a nationwide strike. Our parent organization ABS is also a part of that. Many of our colleagues, many of our friends are asking, what is the stand of ABOC? We are facing threat from our own friends. Then how we will achieve our long pending demand for updation of pension? They are trying to sabotage all the efforts taken by our leaders. Sir, our members are in a dilemma. They are having lot of apprehension. We were all part of the ABOC leadership. But what happened? What is happening to the present leadership of ABOC? Are they sincere and serious in the demands of the retirees? Pension updation, of course, has figured in their charter demand as a second item, and that too for past retirees. And they are still searching for roadmap. What map they are looking for? So, friends, let us continue our efforts. Our only hope is our leaders and IPARC. We hope that through the continuous efforts taken by our leaders, updates of pension will become a reality in the near future. I would like to share some of your thoughts. When updates of pension become a reality, it is very easy to implement in public sector banks, because we all know that there is a huge corpus of 3.3 lakh crores. But in the case of private sector banks, there is no such a corpus. As per the statute, private sector banks are not permitted to maintain pension trust accounts. The private sector banks have to purchase annuity from LIC or other insurance companies to pay lifelong pension. So these private sector banks may not be able to implement updation of pension without some support from the side of Reserve Bank of India. When family pension revision was implemented, RBI came to the rescue of private sector banks and small banks by amortizing this liability for a period of 5 years. Like that, if updation of pension is becoming a reality, RBI has to come out with a long-term package of amortizing this liability for a longer period. Then only the retirees in the private sector can hope for pension. We all know that pension updation is a part of the Bank Employees Pension Regulation Act. All the 56 banks were parties to the Bank Employees Pension Regulation 1995. Representing private sector bank officers, our former leader, late P.B. Matthew, representing all the private sector banks in the country, he was a signatory to the historic agreement. So whenever any change, any amendment is made to the pension regulations, it should be implemented uniformly in public sector banks, and private sector banks and regional rural banks. This is our humble request. We heard our General Secretary in his report saying the discriminatory approach of the IBA and MAG managements towards the private sector retirees. We know the position of Lakshmi Vilas Bank. Bank of Rajasthan, colleague has already mentioned. The situation is worse in some of other private sector banks like the CSB, who is not an affiliate of IPAR. So, our leadership should please make a note of this and take correct steps to see that the interests of the private sector retirees are also protected, because we are also a part in the four rings of this IBO. This emblem, four rings: public sector, private sector, regional rural banks and cooperative banks. We are also very much part of that. And we know the threat of privatization. 6 banks were earlier identified for privatization, and 2 banks are already in the list, and the government has kept it on hold till the next parliament election in 2024. We know what is going to happen. The policy of the government is monetize and modernize. Definitely they will go with the privatization of the public sector banks. There is no doubt about that. Even if we go for a strike or whatever it is. So if such a situation comes, what will happen? The Lakshmi Vilas Bank office retirees are offered pension buyback scheme. What is pension buyback scheme? The retirees are given an option to surrender their right for pension and family pension, of course, by accepting a lump sum amount. Sometimes our retirees may find it attractive because the future is uncertain. So let us accept 20 lakhs or 30 lakhs and forget about pension rights and automatically family pension right also. This is a test dose. If this is an experiment, if the authorities succeed in this, this can happen in future also, in other banks also. I mentioned about 2 banks, public sector banks, which are going to be privatized. What will happen to a public sector bank when it is privatized? All the employees will become part of private sector. The entire management is private sector. The pension corpus of that public sector bank, that will go to the private hands, and they will manage the fund, and we can imagine what will be the fate of that management of their funds. So, great challenge. And initially it may be 2 public sector banks, and afterwards number of may increase, and ultimately after say few years, our right for pension and family pension may be in threat. This is a very, very serious issue. So our leaders, please, we know you are all aware of that. What all corrective steps we can take, please take efforts for that. And another thing, regarding medical insurance, only 2-3 points I would like to highlight. The premium is going up every year. Basic policy still remains at 4 lakhs. And next year what is going to happen we do not know. The premium may touch 1 lakh or so. Then how many of us will be able to subscribe to the IBA medical insurance scheme? We in Federal Bank are lucky to some extent. Our management is subsidizing 70% of the premium on base policy. And for of those who see senior members, elder members, super seniors who are finding difficult to subscribe to the balance portion, we have provided a fund. We have created a fund, voluntary contribution. By contribution, we have created a benevolent fund, and from that fund we are assisting that such members to subscribe to the policy. Friends, we have to think about this, because in the coming days, health issue, that is the most important issue as far as a retiree is concerned. I do not want to take much of time because leaders have already mentioned to avoid repetition and all. So I am concluding with a request that the retirees in the private sector are under discriminatory approach of the under management. So please take care of the interest of the private sector retirees. And with these few words, I conclude. I salute on behalf of FBROF to salute my salute to all comrades and delegates. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Comrade Nirmala from Indian Bank Pensions Association and